Alright guys, what's up? How's it going? How you doing? Let me know if the intro music is like super fucking boring and you just want me to like blast metal or something, because I can do that as well. I just figured people would like something calming to listen to while stream was getting prepared and set up and stuff. So if you just want me to like blast random metal or something, just let me know and I can do that in the future. Regardless of that, welcome back to Danganronpa V3. So in the last chapter, basically 3 of my favorite characters got killed off, and I was really fucking pissed. But then my most hated character died, so it kind of balances it out, right? So, we're gonna continue on. And, if I remember correctly, we stopped at the investigation of Anji, and, we haven't gone on any further than that yet, so, hopefully it'll go well. Right, so let's see who we can talk to first of all.
Hey.
I just want to confirm something. When we got to this lab, you're sure that the front door was locked?
Okay.
Yes, I'm positive. I grabbed the knob and tried to turn it. Click, 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 click. It really is locked.
I knew it.
The front entrance was locked until Kokichi picked the lock to open it. Kokichi pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Click, click, click. Clack. There! Open says me. So he picked the cylinder lock open?
Hey.
Do you think anyone else could have opened the lock besides him?
That's true.
It would have been impossible from the outside. The Monocubs took the key.
Okay, here it is, but there's only one key, so don't lose it.
It'd be bad if you lost it. You wouldn't be able to lock the door or open it from the outside. Let me see that key. One of them swiped the key from Monophony, then lifted it to his mouth. Nom.
Ah, he ate it!
Ben?
So, Kokichi's the only one who could have opened or closed the door from the outside, right? Correct. Only Kokichi would have been able to open and close the door from outside. But someone inside could have opened it and closed it as they pleased.
Huh?
So the front door was locked from inside the room?
No.
Not necessarily, I'm just thinking of possibilities. But in that case, the question becomes how the person who locked the doors got out. How the culprit got out of the classroom after locking the doors. Through the open ceiling. Art Lab's front door has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your monopad. Or maybe this floor is connected to somewhere else? Below? But the ceiling was open, yes? Alright, let's talk to Mew next.
This busty brain beauty has this all figured out.
Huh? You mean you know who the culprit is?
What was that?
Huh? Culprit? Fuck that.
Hey.
Shuichi, do we really have the time to be listening to her?
Wait!
Hey, wait. God damn it. Are you just gonna ignore my genius idea? Just listen to me, okay? Come on. Listen to me. Listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if you're gonna twist my arm, then I'll tell ya. You better thank me for this.
You know.
I know y'all are dumber than fleas, but even you get how weird these wax dolls are, right?
They are strange. Are they for the ritual? Or another purpose?
Well then.
But I figured it out with just one glance. These are diversions.
Could it be?
Diversions?
Listen up!
Yep, the culprit used these wax dolls to distract us from something.
You got a minute?
What do you mean by that?
What?
How should I know? Isn't that Sherlock Holmes' job?
Whoa, steady there, Mew. This is Twitch, alright? Gonna get me in trouble. Twitch, that wasn't me, alright? I'm just reading dialogue. Don't shoot the messenger, alright? You're a waste of time. Maki turned and walked away. I can't say I blame her.
Huh? Hell's her problem. She on the rag or something? So, Anji made these wax dolls, huh? The resemblance is pretty uncanny. They say the devil's in the details, you know? Let's just see how detailed these really are. Hey!
You tried to look up the wax figure's skirt.
What are you doing? Stop that! What? I just wanted to see if this doll was wearing panties. Wait, do you have a doll fetish? Are you excited that your dead girlfriend is a doll now? If you like wax dolls so much, then go fuck the doll already.
Starting to agree with Maki. Talking to Mew is a waste of time. I think the exact opposite. I think Miu's hilarious. Even if we were in a scenario like this, I would listen to her every chance I got.
I'm not sure if it's okay to say this or not, but could Tenko be the culprit?
Huh? Tenko?
Oh, it's not like I have proof or anything, but earlier I heard Himiko say that Tenko was trying to betray the student council.
No.
So you suspect Tenko?
Actually.
Cause as a member of the student council, she would have been allowed into this lab.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. Anji did allow members of the student council to enter her lab.
Yeah, Anji had been shut away here working on the ritual by herself since yesterday. She said she would only unlock the door if she heard a student council member's voice.
That's true.
That would certainly point to Tenko. She did betray the student council after all.
No.
It's not that I want to suspect Tenko, but since only student council members would have been let in here.
So Anji only let in student council members. That would be Gonta, Kibo, Himiko, Tenko, and Samugi. Of that group, Tenko is certainly the most suspicious. Or maybe they didn't use the doors at all. Maybe they used the ceiling, like I think. Samugi's account has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your Monopad. Great, I hate the accounts, because it's hard to remember what the accounts are, but I'm just going to remember student council members in regards to Samugi. Can we examine the dolls? No? We can examine the back door, but not the murder weapon? Okay, the murder weapon, I recognize the katana. That came from, Korekio's, room. His ultimate lab. Obviously. Kokichi was fucking around with the sword, but I don't think that's enough info for me to just pin it on him immediately. So I think I'm gonna wait on that idea for a while. Get some more evidence.
Why?
A murder at nighttime is strange. Impossible, even.
Why?
Why do you think that?
Right.
Cause student council made rule that we know can be outside during nighttime.
Well, not everybody's a gentleman like you, Gonta, alright?
Everyone should have been asleep. No way murder could have happened at nighttime.
Do you really think everyone would go along with that rule?
But it too is rule. Anji say he punish us if we not follow his rules.
But the student council wasn't included in that, correct? They could do what they wanted. Anji was also working here at night.
Huh? She was?
But...
No way. Student council would never break own rules.
Right.
They should have been asleep in own rooms to set good example to others. Maybe Anji got attacked while she sleep in her room and get brought here?
No, because the blood wouldn't be there. That'd be stupid.
Gonta,
If so, Gonta could have saved her. If only Gonta saw. But Gonta was sleeping. Sorry, Anji. Gonta no could save you.
Thank fuck. I find it hard to believe that no one went outside, in spite of the student council rule. Yeah, same. Yeah, there's blood on the floor, so she was obviously killed here. Because I think the blood would have dried at this point. Plus the way her body is arched, I don't think that much blood would spill across like that. Plus she had a stab wound in the back of the neck, so why is there blood there? That makes no sense to me. We're gonna examine Anji's body last, though. I think we already talked to Maki. So we've talked to Miu, we've talked to Samugi, we've talked to Maki, I think. We've talked to Gonta, but I'm gonna talk to Maki again, just to be sure. Oh yeah, she was about the front door being locked, yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought we did. Maki was the first one I talked to, if I remember right. My memory is really shit, so I apologize for that. Alright, let's take a look at the back door, shall we? See if anything's funky with it. This door's the lab's back door.
Is this...
This door has a sliding lock, and it's still locked. Okay, so there's gold dust there that came off the sword, I'm guessing.
That's true.
Because no one used this door since we came in here. I believe Anji locked this door when she came in, and it's been locked ever since.
Hey.
Oh wait, what's this? Wait, so if Anji locked this door, that means there'd be dust on her hands, right? So we'd be able to tell if this was a suicide or not. Because if she stabbed herself, which I don't think is possible, there'd have to be dust on her hands, right? From the sword. Look, there's something golden shiny on the tab of the sliding lock. Golden shiny? Could it be?
Is that alright?
Maki, may I see it for a minute? I want to try moving the sliding lock.
So what?
Want to unlock it? Go ahead. Do what you want. I carefully touched the knob of the lock, avoiding the gold parts, and softly slid the lock open. Click.
Okay.
Just as I suspected, this lock will slide without much effort. Click. Or maybe the lock was closed with the sword? Somehow? Whether you lock it or unlock it, this could be an important clue. Art Lab's back door has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Still, it's strange that the front door and back door have different locks. The front door that we came in from has a cylinder lock. And the rear door over there has a sliding lock. But by the time we discovered the body, both doors were locked.
Is this?
In other words, this is what you might call a locked room mystery, right? Locked, huh?
You're right.
Yes, the cylinder lock's key was taken by the Monocubs. So both doors could only be locked from the inside. But only if you rule out Kokichi's lockpicking, right? He could have picked the cylinder lock on the front door to go in and out of the lab. So he could have created this locked room mystery. It's possible that he locked the door from the outside by picking it after he killed Anji.
If I remember correctly.
That's true.
That's right.
Also, he appeared at an oddly convenient time when we tried to enter the lab ourselves.
I knew it.
He's clearly suspicious. Yeah, I agree with Maki, he is suspicious, but I don't think it's quite him yet. It is suspicious, but that solution seems a little too convenient. Yeah, exactly. Kokichi's lockpicking has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Alright. Is there anything else we can examine before we take a look at Anji's body? It's unlocked, but I think there are still things to investigate here. Okay. Well, yeah, there's one very important thing to investigate. Alright, let's investigate Anji then. Anji's body, she's lying face down in the middle of the room. I knew a murder was gonna happen here, I had a feeling it was. Room looked way too white, that's why I commented on it earlier, and I said, this room is whiter than I expected it to be. Are you going to take a closer look? Yeah, I was planning to.
Got a minute?
Then let's hurry up and do it, we can't afford to waste any time here. Maki didn't hesitate, she stepped past me and walked over to the body. She has no problem with dead bodies, she is the ultimate assassin. Okay, and the Necronomicon's lying on the floor, so maybe we should take a look at this as well. Might be important. Ah, this book!
The instructions for the resurrection ritual are written in the Necronomicon. By performing the ritual as written, you can resurrect one deceased victim.
I knew it.
This was the motive, the Necronomicon.
Hey,
Anji tried to perform the ritual written in this book, right?
Okay.
Yes, if we look at this book, we should learn the steps of the ritual she was trying to perform. Let's take a look. The Necronomicon Resurrection Ritual. Prepare an effigy of the dead soul you wish to contact. Everyone may participate. The size and shape of the effigy is irrelevant. Make it out of whatever materials you wish. If it's not obvious who the effigy is supposed to be, label it with the name of the deceased. After preparing the effigy, burn this Necronomicon to ashes. Use caution, be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times. Then close your eyes and wait. After a while, you should feel a light tap on your back. If so, that means the ritual was a success. The ashes are only good for one use. The ritual can only be performed once, so use it wisely. Maybe she planned to die and have somebody else resurrect her, or something on purpose? I have no idea. So these are the steps for the resurrection ritual?
this is stupid.
Anji really believed in this crap? It's pretty obvious that you wouldn't be able to resurrect anyone with this. Under normal circumstances, I'm sure that's true. But in this place, I don't think we can rule anything out. Necronomicon has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your monopad. There's blood dripping from Anji's head. According to the Monokuma file, she sustained a stab wound to the back of the neck and a laceration to the forehead, right? As well as a laceration on her forehead.
Knew it.
The killer blow is a single stab to the back of the neck, a sneak attack most likely.
Well,
Then what do you make of this wound on her forehead? Maybe the culprit hit her in the head before stabbing her from behind? What would be the point of that? I think maybe she, like, fell and cut herself on the head or something. But her 2 wounds are substantially different. Did the culprit change weapons mid-attack?
Oh yeah.
I suppose that would be unnecessary.
remember.
Also, the wound on her forehead looks deep, but it's not bleeding much. What's going on with these 2 wounds? Forehead injury has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your monopad.
Huh?
Okay, it's not deep,
Huh?
but it's bleeding. Okay. Oh, it's deep, but it's not bleeding much, right? What's wrong, Maki? Move. Maki pushed me aside, then lifted Anji's body up by the shoulder.
This?
What's this doing crumpled underneath her body?
What is it?
This is duct tape, right? What's duct tape doing here? Okay, well that's clearly Anji's hair, because she's the only one with white hair, right? Okay, so that's clearly her hair. What's duct tape doing here? I don't know, but it must be related to the case. Look, there are hairs stuck to the tape. Long hairs is Anji's, right? Bloody duct tape with Anji's hair on it. What could that mean? What could that mean? Okay, so it's duct tape. So I thought it was going to be like a scrap from the book or something, but it's duct tape. I don't know where we've seen duct tape, but there might have been some in the warehouse, but that doesn't tell us anything.
But
I'm surprised you spotted this, Maki. It was hidden under her body.
So what?
It was partially visible. As a detective, you should have noticed it before I did.
okay.
Ah, well, that's true. Well, even so, I guess you're still getting used to being around dead bodies. So don't beat yourself up over it.
Okay.
Well then, it's a good thing you're used to corpses, Maki.
You wanna die?
Huh? Do you want to die?
Sorry.
Sorry, joking. I couldn't resist.
You got a minute?
You don't need to apologize. I was joking too. That didn't sound like a joke, though. Is there anything else we can investigate? There's blood dripping from Anji's head. According to the Monokuma file, she sustained a stab wound to the back of the neck, as well as a laceration on her forehead. Fatal wound is the one to her neck, but what about the one on her forehead? It also bothers me that the wound on her forehead is deep, but not bleeding much. There's one more thing. The duct tape that Maki found under the body, why would that be here of all places? The tape had Anji's hair on it. It must be related to the case. Yeah, plus why is it under her body? That's what bewilders me more. Why would duct tape be there? Oh, we can examine the wax dolls. You just have to look at them very specifically. Okay. The 4 effigies hung upside down makes the scene particularly eerie. Ropes are dangling from the exposed beams on the ceiling.
If I remember correctly.
Anji made all of these wax figures.
Hey,
Is this rope from the warehouse?
You're right.
I believe so, and that means they won't be much of a clue. Anyone could have gone and gotten these ropes, that's what I said. About the duct tape. Maybe the student council should have blocked the warehouse instead of the manhole. The warehouse does contain plenty of things that can be used for murder. Well, that's why it's there, isn't it? Anyway, I know that these effigies are just wax, but it still creeps me out. Okay, so maybe somebody stuck the sword in one of the wax figures, namely Kaede, and then moved it up there and then swung it down and the sword hit Anji in the forehead? But what would that have to do with the duct tape? And I think that's a little bit extreme. It is Danganronpa though. Also, if the sword was used to strike Anji at all, it would have blood on it, right? Anyway, I know that these effigies are just wax, but it still creeps me out.
that's true.
Maybe we'll learn something if we look at the wax doll of Kaede next. The effigies look exactly like real people, not just their faces, but their bodies too. The ultimate artist certainly was talented.
By the way,
why is this effigy hanging upside down? Is this part of the ritual? No, I don't believe so. I think there was a reason for that. I'm not sure.
what is it?
If it's not, then why is it like this? Who would go out of their way to hang a wax effigy? Maybe to use as part of their plan? Maybe it wasn't a diversion at all? Maybe it was a tool used to commit the murder? Right, if they were going to do this much work, there must be some reason for it. What could it be? Who would do this? The culprit? Anji? Or someone else entirely? Effigies hung upside down has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your monopad. You know, I think it might be Korekio as well, but I think that's a little bit easy given that it came from his room. It obviously came from his room. I figured that out earlier, just by looking at it. The 4 effigies are hung up with ropes from the ceiling's exposed beams. These wax figures are definitely the same ones Anji made. But why are they hung up? Is this also part of the resurrection ritual, or is there another purpose? It would take a lot of work to hang all these up. That implies there was a reason behind it. But what is that reason, and who did it? The culprit, Anji, or someone else entirely? Okay, so there's nothing to... Oh, here we go, we can examine the katana itself, I see. A katana stabbed into Kaede's wax effigy?
Damn it!
Who did this, and why?
You got a minute?
Let me see. Is it gonna have blood on it? Maki nudged me aside, then gripped the katana and pulled it out of the effigy. Ah, wait, this is a crime scene. You can't...
What is it?
You wanted to check the katana, right? Well, you can't just do that if you don't pull it out.
Because...
Yeah, it's true, but we have to preserve the scene. Maybe the katana was stuck into this effigy to hide the blood on the tip of it? On the blade or something? Maki paid no mind to my protest and stared at the katana for a while.
Is this...
Ah! Yeah, look, blood on the very tip. It's a real katana, but there's a gold leaf on it.
Okay.
Yeah, I believe it's the one that was on display in the Ultimate Anthropologist lab. Is that so?
Okay.
We can probably assume this is the murder weapon, judging from the bloodstains on the tip. The edge is too rusty to cut well, but it would be enough to stab. So yeah, maybe somebody hung the doll from the ceiling and then stood at the ceiling and pushed the doll with the katana in it, and it swung down and cut Anji in the head or something? But how would that work if the sword is already stabbed into the effigy? Huh. Also, why would you just hide the bloody sword in the effigy instead of just fucking sticking it in the effigy and then moving it somewhere else? Or hiding it or something. Like, they could have hid it on top of the rafters, up in the upper part of the room. The edge is too rusty to cut well, but it would be strong enough to stab.
But...
Okay, the sword wouldn't cut, but it would stab, okay? But why would they go through the effort of using this as the murder weapon?
That's true.
Good question. They could have gone to my lab and grabbed a more suitable weapon.
could it be...
Perhaps it's because Kyo's lab is on the same floor, they just grabbed something close by. They may have been in a hurry.
Well...
Or maybe they needed a long weapon like this.
Huh?
A long weapon? I think that would support my theory of it being stuck in the doll, and then the doll being swung down, and that's why the doll is hanging.
Okay.
Or the dolls are hanging. My lab doesn't contain swords or any other weapons of this lab. Or maybe Mew's on the right track, and the other wax figurines were hung earlier as a distraction to make Anji go, what the fuck, why are these upside down? Or to get her into position to hit her with the sword that's stuck into the other effigy, maybe? My lab doesn't contain swords or any other weapons of this lab. Really?
That's true.
I'm not sure how Monokuma found out, but he must know I don't use swords for work. When I first started working, I botched a mission using the katana. I haven't used a sword since, which is fine because they're a hassle to carry anyway. Suppose everyone's lab is suited to them personally, just like Anji's was. How did they know all this? Anyway, the gold leaf on this katana flakes off easily. It's all over my hand now.
Okay.
Must be pretty old for the gold leaf to flake off that easily. Yeah, Korekio said that. And there was gold leaf on the, whatchamacallit as well. On the door. Maybe... No. That sounds stupid. I was thinking maybe Anji picked up the katana and then stuck it into the statue herself. But why would that happen? How would she be able to do that if she was stabbed in the back of the neck?
Got a minute?
Why didn't you say so earlier? My hands are all sticky now. I'll have to wash them later. Maki scolded me, then stood in front of Kaede's effigy.
Hey.
I'm going to put the katana back where we found it. It's too hard to watch. Look away.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. I averted my gaze and Maki stabbed the katana back into the wax effigy. Sure enough, bloop, there it
By
goes.
the way,
Even so, why was a weapon stabbed into the wax effigy? A hanging wax effigy, no less. Was it part of the ritual, or was the culprit trying to hide the murder weapon? Well, if they're sticking the sword into the fucking effigy to hide the blood only, and just have the katana there, that's kinda dumb. Perhaps they had no intention of hiding it, they didn't even wipe off the blood. Besides, I'm certain there are better ways to hide the murder weapon than
what are you
this.
talking about?
Then what's the reason for this?
That's...
I honestly have no idea. Ah, okay, you know what? I think I have an idea. Maybe the katana is long and it was stuck into the statue for a different purpose, and the murder weapon isn't the katana. But why would it have blood on it? That makes no sense. Okay, so what my idea was there is, what if they stuck the katana into the hanging wax figure, and then they used the end of the katana, the handle, to be facing toward the door to unlock it. Because it's a slide lock, right? But how would they set that up? Or maybe the katana was shoved all the way through the wax effigy. And it swung and stabbed Anji in the back of the neck. But that means they would have had to push it off the rafter. But how would they have gotten up there? Because this is on the same floor that those 3 rooms with holes in the corners were in, right? So if that's the case, then how would you get to the upper part of this room? We should investigate where this weapon came from. We might find a clue there.
Okay.
Built my anthropologist lab? Yeah, let's do that. I want to make sure the katana indeed came from that room. Gold leaf katana has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Alright, so I'm guessing we're done in here then? Let's examine these other 2 wax figurines though. Okay, it's just gonna say the same thing, I think. So my idea is that either the wax figurine was hanging. Also, why is Karumi's feet tied together, but all their feet are apart? That also strikes me as odd. Maybe there's nothing to that, though. Maybe I'm just, like, thinking a little bit outside. Huh. Yeah, so I'm thinking, okay, either A, the sword was stuck into the statue, or the effigy, rather, and it was pushed from here to swing open the latch, because if you look, Kaede's pretty close to that door, it appears like, right? So maybe the katana was used to slide the lock this way. So that would mean that the effigy had to have been pushed off the right-hand side, because the lock slides left, right? Not right? So that means the wax effigy would have had to have been pushed here, and then the katana swung and unlocked the door. But again, why would the katana have blood on it, and why would she have a separate laceration on her forehead? I think there's still things to investigate. Really? Are there? Like what? Thought I've examined everything. I've talked to everybody. I know that much. I've investigated Anji's body. I've looked at the Necronomicon. I've looked at all the figurines. I've talked to everybody in the room. I've checked the door. I've checked the front door as well. There's something down here that I missed? No? What the fuck am I missing then? Nothing up here. Examine Ryoma's effigy. Can I not do that? I don't know what else I'm supposed to investigate. Okay, but why would there be gold dust on that side of it? Suppose that means that Anji locked this door and it's been locked the entire time. But why would Anji have dust on her hands? That's what I don't understand. Plus, there was no gold dust on Anji's body when we looked at it. Maybe we can examine Anji's body again and look at her hands or something. Maybe there is gold dust on her hands, and we just don't see it. No, I don't see any gold stuff on Anji's hands, so I'm gonna assume she didn't lock the door and it was somebody else. Maybe one of these effigies was swung into Anji to knock her into a different location or something? Maybe that's the case? I have no idea. Honestly, this one's pretty weird. It's very unorthodox. I can't see anything else I can investigate, so I don't understand what it wants. Yeah, we've examined both of those. Pool of blood? Can we examine that? Oh, I guess we can. Small pool of blood is What? Emanated from Anji's torso. Torso? This can't be from her forehead. The blood is from the back of her neck.
Is this...
This blood is dry. Must have been spilled a few hours before Anji was killed, maybe more. That fits the 2 a.m. time of death listed in the Monokuma file. So then you can surmise that the fatal wound was the wound to her abdomen and not the one to her forehead or the back of the neck, right? Anji's body appears to be exactly as described in the Monokuma file. There were several clues that caught my attention, but I can't draw any conclusions yet. If we think about all the evidence in combination, that might tell us something. Let's continue the investigation for now. Maki, what's wrong?
So what?
It's not that important, but the only time you're reliable is when you're investigating a crime scene. Is that supposed to be a compliment?
Like I do.
Who knows? You're certainly more reliable than Kaito, at least. That guy is useless. Anyway, let's continue. I think we've finished investigating everything for now.
Got a minute?
Is this really the time to rest? I don't think we've found enough clues yet. We don't know how much time we have left to investigate, so we need to hurry up.
You're right.
Ah, you're right. First, we should investigate the ultimate anthropologist's lab. We may find a clue related to the
That's
katana.
true.
That's true. We need to check if the katana really did come from that place. Is something wrong, Maki?
By the way,
It just occurred to me. Why am I acting like your partner?
sure, whatever.
Well, it's fine. Just don't get used to it. It's not as if I asked you, but it's fine by me. It's true that Maki is a tremendous help to me. Alright, so let's look at the pool of blood again, just for... Small pool of blood is emanated from Anji's torso. Okay. Blood is dry. Several hours must have passed since she was killed. That checks out with the time of death listed in the Monokuma file. Okay, so if this blood is dry, right? That would mean that the fatal wound was the one to her stomach. Not the one to the back of her neck. Or the laceration to her forehead. So I'm curious even more now about those. I could understand if there was blood on the lock, because maybe she would have, like, slipped or, like, something and hit her fucking forehead on the lock or something, and that got the cut in her forehead, but... The katana had blood on it, but what wound did the katana make? That's what I want to figure out. And it doesn't say how deep the wound in her abdomen is, so I can't judge it by just the blood on the sword, I don't think. So... Maybe I'm right about the sword being in one of the effigies, and then it swung into her abdomen or something and stabbed her or something? I have no idea. Because it's clear that the fucking mortal wound, or the fatal injury, would be the fucking stab in her chest, right? Or in her abdomen, or wherever it was, right? And not the laceration to her forehead, or the one to the back of her neck. Why did she have a stab wound to the back of her neck, though? Maybe she didn't die immediately? And they were forced to stab her in the stomach or something? And they weren't planning for that to happen? And they just had to, like, think quickly or some crap? I have no idea. This should be the anthropologist lab, I believe. Also, where's Korekio? Where's Kokichi? They're supposed to be there when there's a body announcement, right? If I remember correctly, the gold leaf katana is from... Hey, the dog statue is missing too, with the cage. It's just a sheath. Earlier the katana was inside the sheath. Maki, the gold leaf katana definitely came from here, I'm certain of it.
That's true.
Doesn't that make Kyo suspicious? This is his research lab, after all.
No.
Not necessarily. Anyone could have come in here and taken it.
That's true.
Fair enough. Anyone could have done the same with my lab, too. Yeah, exactly. Like, you can't just blame Kyo automatically. Speak of the devil.
Oh, what are you guys doing here?
Ew.
What are you doing here? Shouldn't you be helping with the seance? You look so disgusted right now. Then again, I guess that is your signature look. Anyway, I forgot to bring up something we need for the seance, so I came back to get it.
Something for the seance.
Yeah.
Yep, that white sheet over there. We brought the wooden dog statue in the cage already, but I guess we need that sheet too.
What is it?
I don't get it. Why do you guys need a cage, a wooden dog statue, and a white sheet?
Hey, don't ask me. I don't know why we need that stuff either.
So that means...
That's why I figured I'd do a little research on the seance before I got the sheet.
Study.
So, let's see.
Kokichi took a look around and...
I heard it was like some old handmade book. Oh, is this it?
Yeah.
Yep, it says Caged Dog Village right here on the cover, so this must be it. Let's see, what does it say about the Caged Child Seance?
Kokichi flipped through the old book he picked up.
Oh, is this the page? It's hard to read, but I can see the Caged Child is mentioned here.
Yeah, maybe the ritual has something to do with the murder?
Yeah, Kiyo's drawing the same magic circle as the one in this picture. Okay, let's see. In order to perform the Caged Child, you need 5 people, including the spirit medium, in a dark place with no light.
5 people, including the spirit medium? The spirit medium would be Anji, wouldn't it?
If I remember correctly,
Just like Kiyo said.
First, draw the magic circle passed down from the Caged Dog Village on the ground. In the center of the circle, the spirit medium must kneel, curl like a turtle, and rest their forehead on a stone on the ground. Afterward, the other 4 participants must put the iron cage over the spirit medium and cover it with a white sheet. And finally, the dog god must be placed on top of the cage.
I see.
Also, it says we can't step on the magic circle during the preparations.
The dog god? Do you mean the wooden dog statue?
Yeah.
I wonder if there's blood on the underside of that sheet.
When preparations are complete, turn out all the lights to create complete darkness. The seance will begin when the 4 participants are each standing at a corner of the room. The 4 participants, not including the spirit medium, will sing the Caged Child song. After the song, ask, "Is the Caged Child?" then say the name of the spirit. The spirit medium will reply in the voice of the summoned spirit, and that's all it says.
Yeah, I wonder if there's blood on the underside of that sheet, and that Anji was maybe carried in it to her lab or something later. The fucking brown coconut bitch chicken, that's who died. The one I hate so much. That sounds complicated.
But
Complicated plans have a better chance of working out in the end, wouldn't you say?
Whether it works out or not, Kiyo's been wanting to conduct this seance for a while.
Since I was fortunate enough to obtain one of those copies, I've already memorized it. But I never thought I'd be able to lay eyes on the real one. What a trick of fate.
Yep, she died, chicken. Get fucked.
Oh yeah, he said it memorized every word of it, too. That's probably why he left the book here, because he can conduct the seance without it.
But is it even possible contacting Angie's ghost?
If you're so curious, why don't you join us, Shuichi?
Huh?
You should see how it plays out with your own eyes.
See?
There's still time, you know, the seance hasn't even started yet.
That's true.
Maybe it's better if you join them.
huh?
You think so?
I don't understand.
Well, I'm not going. I don't believe in seances. But whether you believe it or not, as a detective, you should be there to observe what happens. As a detective, huh?
Okay.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that's probably the smartest call. You can get the most information that way.
Now you're talking.
All right.
Well, I'll be waiting for you. Of the 3 empty rooms, we're in the middle one.
Yeah, I remember them. About the middle one. I'll miss the rantings about Otua. I won't. Kokichi spoke as though he was inviting me to go play, then left the room. The Caged Child has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your manga pad. Okay, so we're gonna have to use that to either argue something or confirm something. Right, is that all the clues that we can get in this room? The Caged Child book is still here. Kiyo said that he has read it so many times he can recite it by memory. Suppose he doesn't need it to perform the seance. Okay, I was just making sure it wasn't a clue. Alright, we can leave, so that means we've discovered all the evidence that we need in that room. Okay. Yeah, did you miss who died, chicken? I'll go show you her corpse if you want. It's in the art room. It's not that far, I'll show you just to be a bro. So the seance is to be performed in the middle room. Anyway, she's in there and she has a cut on her forehead, a stab wound to the back of the neck, and apparently a stab wound to the stomach area as well. And I'm still trying to piece this together, and I have a few ideas, but I don't know if they're right yet. Now, let's not go into the middle room yet. Oh, we have to. Okay, fair enough. Oh, let's go into the middle room then, seeing as how Shuichi wants to be a fucking backseating cunt.
Hello.
So, Kokichi tells me you wish to participate in the seance as well, Shuichi. You are most welcome to join us.
Oh.
Is what I would like to say. However, only 5, including the spiritual medium, may join. Oh man, what a shame. Well, Keyboy, you're out. Why me? I agree with Kokichi. I was thinking this for a while. Robots and seances don't mix. They're like toothpaste and orange juice.
You see.
What kind of analogy is that? To be honest, I had the same thought. Your help was appreciated, Kibo.
Why you?
Don't any of you feel guilty for kicking me out after forcing me to come? That's why we're apologizing.
Do not mock
No
me.
one's apologized yet.
Oh man.
Fine, fine. Our bad. Just don't get mad and start shooting electromagnetic waves at us. What is he, static shock? Why would I do that?
Stop it.
Stop whining, Kibo. I want to start the seance as soon as possible. Fine, but I won't forget this betrayal, Shuichi. I didn't betray you, they did. Yeah, what did I do, exactly? Fuck off.
So then.
So now Shuichi has joined us. First, some warnings.
Do you understand?
Do not enter the magic circle that I've drawn on the floor. It is drawn with purifying salt, so it is easily disturbed when stepped upon. You drew this magic circle with salt?
That's correct.
I always use salt for magic circles. It makes seances more likely to succeed.
Well then.
Also, it's dark in here, so be sure to watch your step. If the magic circle is broken, not only will the seance fail, but it may also unleash a curse.
Okay.
Got it, I'll be careful. I'm surprised you were able to draw this without even looking at the picture.
Do not worry.
I have the entire document memorized, so this magic circle should be perfect. Of course, I also have the Caged Child song memorized. You must do the same.
Do you understand?
I have copied the words to the song down here. Please commit it to memory. At long last, your guard dog and little lost girl, sealed within an iron cage. At mountain's bottom, within the darkness, at long last, how many times will there be by dawn? How many will there be by dawn? Will there be 2 or just 1? Will the guard dog run far away, or did it eat the little girl? At long last. Everyone else has already memorized it. After all, you'll be unable to read it in the dark.
Huh?
We have to memorize the lyrics now?
Oh.
You're a detective, so I expect your memory to be up to the task. Here's the melody. I listened to Kyo sing the song and did my best to memorize the melody and lyrics.
Okay.
I would have kind of liked to hear how Kyo sings. That would have been strange. Right, I think I've got it now. Your memory is extraordinary. You are indeed the ultimate detective.
Well then.
Well then, let us begin the ritual right away.
How exciting!
Yay, we finally get to see Anji!
So then.
Before that, let's choose a spiritual medium who would work best with a girl. Okay, it's gonna be Himiko, I bet. Then, I'll do it. I can't think of anyone but me that Anji's spirit should go in.
No.
No, I'll do it. Because if you're the spirit medium, you won't be able to talk to Anji.
Yeah?
Nah?
That's right.
You want to talk to Anji, right? Then I'll be the spirit medium. That way you can say goodbye to her. And after you finish saying your goodbyes, keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else.
Please.
Please.
By the way.
Also, Himiko, let me say this one thing. Expressing your feelings is perfectly natural. You shouldn't feel ashamed at all. So, if you feel like crying while you're talking to Anji, go ahead and cry your eyes out. You'll feel better when you do. Well, I mean, laughing makes you feel better too.
Damn it!
And venting your anger onto something can really cheer you up. Yeah, like men, for example. Train your heart by crying, laughing, and venting your anger, Himiko. I think you've trained too much. You're probably right. Seems like the two of them made up. That's good. It's not like they were in any, lesbian kerfuffle anyway. So, now that we've decided on a spiritual medium, let us begin. I hope, okay, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Danganronpa games have a pattern, of Chapter 3 being a double murder. So I hope Himiko doesn't die here.
Yes!
Alright, Himiko, I'll see you later.
Now, I would like the spirit medium Tenko to sit within the center circle. Please be sure to walk on the path, so as not to disturb the magic circle.
Make sure you watch your steps. It's so dark in here.
Why didn't they make it dark as soon as she got to the middle of the circle? That's dumb.
Next, you must be as a turtle within that circle. Please rest your forehead upon this stone marker I've placed here.
It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work?
Certainly. It is merely needed as a marker for her forehead to rest upon.
It's a very strange ritual, I gotta say.
Like this?
This may be uncomfortable, but please endure it until the seance is complete. Whatever you do, you mustn't raise your head or change positions.
Piece of cake. I have 5-star flexibility.
Ooh, I'll be sure to keep that in mind. Especially in the Kumasutra Hotel.
So then,
Starting now, the rest of us must go to work. There are many things left to be done.
let's see.
First, we must place the sign cage atop Tenko. I shall leave that to Shuichi and Kokichi. Please keep in mind, walk carefully as to not disturb the magic circle.
Yeah.
Okay, you can count on me. I may not look like it, but I'm actually super duper strong.
Are you, eh? Alright.
I shouldn't have lied. I'm way too weak for this kind of stuff.
It's made of iron. No wonder it's heavy.
Hold on! Don't just drop it on top of me!
I know. It wouldn't be very funny if a body discovery announcement happened during this.
Uh-oh.
Please don't jinx us!
I'm tired. So, next, we cover the basket with a white cloth, right?
I shall take that role. All right. Everything is prepared. Tenko, how are you doing?
Well, I can only see the floor from this position, but I think I'm fine.
Okay, didn't go into mention that you could see through the floor or something earlier?
The final step is to place the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage. The four of us may
Where
need to
is
do
that?
this together. The statue is quite heavy.
Even with 4 people, it's still really heavy.
Or you're just a puss bitch, Shuichi. Hit the weights, bitch.
Holy crap, this weighs a ton!
No, it is not much more than 175 pounds.
That's quite a bit. 4 people, though? 175 pounds shouldn't be that bad. The reps I do are about 50 pounds, so... like,
I'm totally wiped.
I could've used my
uh-oh, I wonder if the floor's gonna break
but
and the
seances
statue's
and
gonna
magic-
fall on top of Tenko, because I think Gonta said that these rooms have a weak support in the middle or something like that for the floor.
Are you sure it's okay to put something so heavy on top of the cage?
The iron cage was made specifically for seances, so it can hold this weight.
Maybe the floor can't.
Okay. I guess that's fine then.
Now, let us exit the magic circle.
I'm actually gonna be
Take
kinda
care
sad if
to
Tenko
avoid
dies as well.
disturbing it. So then,
This is the point of no return, Tenko. After this point, you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Anji speaking through you.
Got it.
Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Okay, everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance.
Yeah, about that.
well then,
Oh wait, maybe Anji killed herself so she could kill somebody else and then be revived or something? Nah, that'd be weird.
The rest of us shall move to the corners of the room. Please go to one of your choosing.
We just stood in a different corner. This is weird, I
now
gotta
we
say.
darken the room. Kokichi and Shuichi are closest to the candles.
Is somebody gonna come in and interrupt the seance like there's gonna be a body discovery in the middle of it or something?
Please blow out the candles. You should be able to follow the walls.
No, somebody wouldn't die here during that because Tenko's under the cage, right? Himiko's there, Shuichi's there, Korekio and Kokichi are here. So the murderers then would have to either be Kaito, Maki, Mew, Gonta and Samugi, right?
So go back to the corner of the room after it's dark. Okay, got it.
Or maybe Tenko is gonna leave the cage through the floor and murder somebody or something during this ritual. And that's why she volunteered for it?
You needn't move, Himiko. There are many gaps in the floor near you.
Yeah, got it.
Many gaps in the floor near Himiko, alright.
Once the room is dark, I will begin the song.
Yeah, see, I would have been like Shuichi. I would have picked a different corner than the one I knew where there were holes in the floor in.
Then, I will call out to Angie. Until she replies, there must be silence.
After the seance is done, Shuichi and I are supposed to light the candles again, right?
Correct. I brought matches from the warehouse, so please use those.
Uh-oh, I have a bad feeling about that. Wooden floor, matches.
Okie dokie, then I'll blow out the candle now.
Is this about to get like super spoopy? I walked up to the closest candle and blew out the flame. The room instantly fell into complete darkness. Somebody else is gonna die here, clearly. Who? I don't know, but somebody's gonna die here. Pitch black darkness. So dark I couldn't even see my own body. Overcoming my instinctual fear of the dark, I moved along the wall back to my corner, then began the singing.
At last, at long last.
Kiel led us all in the caged child's song.
Young guard dog and little lost girl, sealed within an iron cage. At mountain's bottom, within the darkness, at last, at long last.
I'm trying to listen for a voice that isn't there anymore, or a voice that is there that wasn't there before.
How many will there be by dawn? Will there be two or just one?
This is a cool song, though. It's kind of creepy with the atmosphere. I like it. Uh-oh.
Will the guard dog run far away?
The floor broke, didn't it? Just like I said it would. I said the floor wouldn't support that much weight.
At last, at long last.
That statue clearly broke through the floor. It had to have. That could only be what that crash was. We finished singing the song, but I thought I heard an odd sound in the middle of it. What was that? Is the caged child Anji Yonaga?
Say.
Is the caged child Anji Yonaga? What's going on?
What's the matter?
What's wrong? Why won't Anji answer?
Hold on.
Himiko, I was very clear that you were not to speak, yes? But something's weird. Why won't she answer? Maybe it failed?
Let's see.
Let's light the candles briefly.
Huh?
What? Is that okay?
Well.
Just for now. Confused, I walked along the wall back to the candle. And then the floor was fucking broken in the middle, because you all are dipshits, and you put a 175-pound dog statue along with a metal cage on a wooden floor, because you're cunts. I managed to strike a match and lit the candle once again. Is Tenko dead? That's gonna suck. Ah, there's blood underneath it. I see. There's blood there. There's fucking blood there. Hey, what's going on? Did it really fail?
Cannot be.
That shouldn't be the case. The seance was perfect.
What?
Oh, Himiko's still alive. That's good. Is Anji not coming? Is that still Tenko in there? Tenko?
I see, yes.
Ah, I told her that she mustn't speak until the spirit enters her. She follows orders well, but how about we let her out for now?
Hold on.
Wait, dark arts such as this need to be started and completed the same way. Those who remove objects from the magic circle must be the same who brought them in. If not, the spirit may stay in the medium's body.
Man,
Seeing as how this was a failure, I don't think any spirit is sticking around, but whatever.
I see blood under the fucking cloth. This is not good, man. Maybe it's somebody else. Just like setting up, Kyo instructed us how to clean everything up. We were careful to remove everything exactly in the order Kyo directed.
I will remove the sheet.
Kyo pinched the fabric gently and pulled it aside.
Oh?
Perhaps.
Oh no, Tenko's definitely dead.
Something is amiss.
Himiko ran toward the cage at a sprint.
Himiko, I told you not to step on the...
But she wasn't listening. She jumped onto the cage and... Fueled by desperation, Himiko grabbed the cage, lifted it up, and... Aww. Damn it, I'm gonna miss Tenko. She was actually kinda cool. I'm gonna miss her feminisms. I told you every chapter is a double murder, man. I told you. Every single one. I said somebody's gonna die here, too. I did. Although I thought it would happen differently.
Who would have thought there'd be another victim during this investigation? Maybe Menophanie's green puke was predicting this tragedy. Oh, the puke's color is normal now. I guess it was predicting this.
For now.
Everyone, please assemble in the seance room.
Alright, then either somebody in here killed her, or somebody else did entirely. The second body discovery announcement played. Maybe Anji, like, faked her death or something, and then killed Tenko? Didn't take long for everyone to come running. Tenko? Seriously?
What is this? How did this happen?
How this happened?
Tenko, Gonta's so sorry. Gonta no could protect you. Yeah, for the biggest fucking dude in the building. He can't protect anybody. Shuichi, explain the situation. I thought you were conducting the seance. What happened?
Well, that's...
I don't know. What's happening? Fucking hell, now we got 2 to focus on. Shit, that's not good.
What on earth?
I'm surprised too. I never thought a murder would happen during an investigation.
I did. I guess for now you should maybe start the investigation right away?
Say,
Before that, I would like to confirm something. The culprit who killed Anji may be a different culprit from the one who killed Tenko, yes?
No, it's gonna be the same person. It always is. It's gonna be the same person who killed both of them.
Huh?
if so...
What happens in the event there are 2 murderers by 2 people? What if there are 2 blackened? Will we need to find them both at the class trial?
That's right.
Now that you mention it, that's a good point. What would happen in that scenario?
Huh? What would happen? Monodam, what would happen? What would happen?
Not that.
Why do you look so lost too, Monodam? I thought you were gonna run things instead of Daddy.
I never expected something like this to happen. I don't know what to do. Really, I don't know.
Oh man, they're all disorganized. If we can't decide the class trial's objective, then we won't know what to investigate. Father always knows what to do. We should ask him for help.
No way.
Have you already forgotten? Daddy's in no condition to help us. It's all our fault that Daddy ended up like that.
Huh? It's all your fault, Monopoly?
Daddy, help! We don't know what to do on our own.
We gotta use the power of love. That ought to snap him back to normal. That won't work. Father is just an empty shell now.
That's right.
That's not true. Anything is possible with the power of love.
You don't understand that because you've never been loved before, Monodam.
Daddy, I love you, so please go back to normal.
I want to see you, Father. I love you with all my heart.
Nah, you're making me blush.
Here I am.
I'm back. Were you good while I was away?
Thank you so much, my adorable darling
I knew Monokuma would come back at some point. I knew he would.
Dad, your tongue feels amazing! It's better than licking anything in me.
That's... I'm sorry, that's getting a fucking screenshot. Man, that vacation was just what I needed. It's important to take time off to relax. Normally, most companies won't even let you take time off to go on a vacation. But I was able to do it. The secret is to just leave whether you get permission or not. Huh? Wait, so then who's this Baldy then? Oh, just a part-timer I got to cover me while I was gone. Here's your pay, like we agreed on. Now take it and get out of here. Huh? I thought you were supposed to be relaxed. Now that nuisance is out of the way. What were you guys talking about again? Ah, that's right. What happens to your votes if there are two blackened candidates? Well, I have an answer for that. It's first come, first served.
Huh?
First come, first served? The blackened who killed the first victim to be discovered will be your target. In other words, if the blackened who killed Anji isn't the same one who killed Tenko, then only Anji's killer will be considered the blackened. Basically, Tenko's killer wasted a kill, and Tenko herself is a waste of a victim. Oh, I'll add this to the school regulations so you can review it later. I also updated the Monokuma file. Do your best to investigate this murder too. Oh, fuck it. So Tenko was killed for no reason? Jesus Christ. Then either she was killed purposely due to a grudge or something like that, or there's gonna be 2 executions this chapter? But if only one person is considered the blackened, then the only one who's considered the blackened is the one that killed Anji. And we only have to figure out Anji's murder, and Tenko is just a waste of time. That really sucks. Monokuma File 3 has been updated in the Truth Bullet section of your monopad. I'm glad Tenko wasn't one of my favorites. Also, her voice is really difficult, so I'm kinda glad she's gone, but I'm gonna miss her like feminism. Boy, everything is going so smoothly now that Father's running things again. Leaders gotta be able to take decisive action. Indecision is just the worst. Daddy, you're glowing like a lamp! There's nothing better than being praised by my cute cubs. There's nothing better than spending time with my cute cubs. For as long as you live, I will never let any of you go except the ones that died. Of course. He just left us behind while he was saying he'd never let us go? That's why he's so amazing. Please lick me some more, Daddy. I'm never gonna say that again, so enjoy it. Alright. Okay. That's our agreement. Viewer to streamer, okay? Never saying that again. I told you each chapter 3 is a double murder. It always is. So to make sense of all that...
Listen closely.
If both murders have different culprits, then our vote will determine Anji's killer.
Nope.
But we don't even know if there's a different culprit, do we?
Let's see.
True, we should investigate Tenko's death as well, just in case.
How exciting!
Ha 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 ha! Finally, things are heating up. I'm getting so excited.
Piece of shit!
God, you fucking psycho!
Shuichi!
Shuichi, this is bad. Huh? This is unquestionably bad. I can't believe Tenko was killed. Everyone's upset and confused, and I'm in no shape to help right now.
But you know,
So this is where you need to step up.
listen up.
Listen, Shuichi. The impossible is possible. All you gotta do is make it so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright!
Alright, then let's check the Monokuma file first. The victim is Tenko Chabashira, the ultimate Aikido master. The body was found in the middle empty room on the 4th floor. The time of death is approximately 11 a.m. The only visible injury is a stab wound to the back of the neck. Okay, so Anji had a consistent stab wound on the back of her neck as well, so maybe this is where that ties in. Because Anji's fatal wound was to the fucking stomach, right? A stab wound on her neck. The same as Anji's cause of death. Doesn't look like a coincidence. Maybe it's Anji's curse. Curse?
Jeez.
God, not again. Curse?
Hey!
What? Curse? Kaito, calm down! No way there's a
screwing around. Do you want to die?
A dull sound reverberated through the room. Yeah, he just got punched in the face.
Are you okay?
Kaito, are you okay?
My bad.
My bad, Shuichi. I'm starting to feel bad, but for a different reason. God, she punched him fucking hard. Look at that. I'm gonna go get some fresh air, so I'll leave this to you and Maki roll. Kaito left the room, still a bit wobbly. Yeah, I bet. The punch looked like it fucking stung. Should we resume the investigation? Time is of the essence.
That's correct.
True, we haven't time to mourn Tenko's death as our own lives here are at risk.
This is...
That's true, but Anji, and then Tenko.
I cared about Tenko more than Anji. Fuck Anji.
And to think earlier I was suspicious of Tenko. I'm sorry, Tenko.
How can this be?
It's all Gonta's fault. Gonta failed to protect friends again. Yeah, you did. You really suck. Tenko's death caught us all off guard. Everyone is panicking. I have to keep it together. I have to work harder because I'm a detective. Yeah, see, I also expected a double murder on this chapter, so I already knew 2 people were gonna die. That's how it always is.
It's too dark in here. We can't investigate, even if we wanted to.
Got it.
Going to bring candles from other room to make this room bright, okay?
No.
No, that won't be necessary.
Ah,
Yeah, that's not necessary at all.
Huh? Why?
listen up!
Show him, Kibo. Show him your new power.
New power?
His eyes light up!
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I, Iruma, the gorgeous girl genius, have installed a new function in Kibo.
He's like a Swiss Army knife, but he's a robot. That's kind
Just
of
leave it
neat.
to me. I will become the guiding light that shines on you all.
Shine on, shine on! Shine on, you crazy fucking diamond!
Yeah, there's no way I can do that with my voice. Not at all. So I'm sorry I can't do Muse with like super well.
Man, what a lame function. Should have made him like a transformer or something.
It's okay.
But it's bright now, so we should hurry and investigate. Sorry about that. Jesus. Yeah, you're right. Kibo's flashlight function has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Why would that be a truth bullet? Alright, maybe we'll figure that out later. Can we examine the holes in the floor? There's a small opening in the corner of the room. It doesn't look big enough for a person to get through, but still. A hole. Looks like there's space under here too. Oh, hold on. I can see something glow. It looks like something dropped down there. Wait, something dropped down there? After we check everywhere else, why don't we go under the floor and have a look for ourselves?
Okay.
Right, let's do it. Yeah, see, I knew that would come into play. I fucking knew it would. Didn't I say so? But let's examine Tenko's corpse, unfortunately. Poor girl. Oh hey, the panel of wood was moved. But if she wasn't supposed to move and she had her head on the stone, wait, was she stabbed through the front of the neck or the back of the neck? Because that's what I want to know. Because if you think about it, if she was like curled up in a ball, right, and she had her forehead on the stone, that would mean the sword had to have protruded through the front of her neck, not the back. That doesn't make any sense. Why would there be a stab wound to the back of her neck? I'm curious about that. Ah, this floorboard is loose. And it's the one right under Tenko.
Why?
Why is this floorboard loose? For a murder, obviously. It wasn't like this before. It must have come loose during the seance.
Why?
Why would it come loose during the seance?
But
A floorboard this thick and heavy wouldn't have come loose easily. And someone must have loosened it on purpose. Okay, so that was loosened ahead of time, so they could do this, but how did they know exactly what floorboard it was? That's what I want to know. This floorboard has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Maybe they marked it underneath the floorboard so they knew which board to move. Tenko's dead body, she took her last breath crouched over like this. According to the Monokuma file, her only injury is the stab wound to her neck. This wound was fatal. This must have caused instant death. I didn't hear a scream during the seance. Oh, wait. Yeah, you heard a crash noise. Understood. I will not say a word until the seance is over. Would Tenko really keep her mouth shut despite the pain?
No.
Her death might not have been instant, but she couldn't have gone far before she bled out.
Huh?
What do you mean?
What's the point?
You were concerned about that, right?
Okay.
With a wound this deep, the victim is too shocked to do anything except die. You're speaking from experience?
That's obvious.
Of course, quick deaths are my specialty. Well then, that makes sense.
By the way,
The real question is, what was she killed with? I don't see a murder weapon around. Okay, so there's no way that she could have been killed before Anji. There's no way, because the sword already had blood on it. We established that the sword that was in Kyo's room was gone, and was indeed the sword that was stabbed into the wax effigy of Kaede, right? You're right, I don't see an obvious murder weapon. That could be a clue. Tenko's last moments have been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Tenko's dead body. She took her last breath crouched over like this. Okay. Thank you for being here, Maki. You were a huge help. Where that weapon went will be the key to solving this case. Can we examine the pool of blood? No, I guess not. Stone? Yes, we can examine this. Okay. There's a rock next to Tenko's body. This must be... Please rest your forehead upon the stone marker I've placed here. It's just a stone I brought from the courtyard. Are you sure it'll work? Certainly, it is merely needed as a marker for her forehead to rest upon. Ah, so maybe the stone was a marker, like, so they knew where to stab? Like this? Tenko had her forehead on this rock, hunched over. She had to make herself small to fit inside the cage. Marker stone has been added to the truth bolt section on your monopad. Okay, well that means the stone would have had to have been specifically placed here if that were to be a marker. So the only person who would have placed it in this specific spot is the murderer, yes. So if you think about it, it would have to be somebody who knew how the ritual was going to go, and knew what was going to be required for the ritual. Let's see, there's blood on top of the cage, too. What is that about? This is the cage used in the seance.
this?
Looks to be around 3 feet high and 5 feet wide. It's a pretty large iron cage.
Okay.
Big enough for a person to fit inside. During the seance, Kokichi and I covered Tenko with a cage. We were supposed to remove it as well. But it was Himiko who rushed in and moved the cage first.
Hey,
Hey, look at this.
is this?
A bloodstain on the bottom of the cage? Probably Tenko's blood, yeah?
That's true.
Yes, I imagine so. The spatter must have been made when she was killed.
What do you mean?
Which means Tenko was killed while she was inside the cage. Yeah, well, we've established that. So that must mean that she was stabbed through the front of the neck, like I thought, and the blood sprayed upward to the cage, right?
Okay.
I think you're right. Tenko went under the cage before the seance. But when the cage was lifted after the seance, she was already dead.
Then?
Yeah, okay, so she was crouching and had her forehead placed on the rock. And then the floorboard was shifted underneath her, and then she was stabbed up through the bottom of the neck. If she was stabbed right where the cage was lifted, that would explain this bloodstain, right? Huh? Perhaps she wasn't killed during the seance, but the exact moment the cage was lifted. That is a possibility. Is it? No, because they threw the curtain off, right? And if she was already dead when the curtain was thrown off, that doesn't make any sense. She couldn't have been killed during that. That doesn't make any sense. Alright, so Maki already said she has no weapons like swords or katanas in her lab, so... Iron cage has been added to the truth bolt section of your monopad. Oh, but we haven't established that this was a katana that did it yet. But if she was stabbed through the neck from all the way down from the other floor, it must have been quite a long weapon, yes? Or maybe they used one of the wax effigies to get the distance they needed to poke the sword up through the floor? Maybe that's the case? Let's examine the dog statue as well. It's a wooden statue used in the seance. I believe it's called the Dog God. During the seance, this wooden statue was on top of the cage. It took 4 of us to remove it. Although, like I said, I believe the archway downstairs shifts, or the whole floor shifts, or something like that. Because I noticed the black circles on the ground, and I'm guessing that's what that means. This wooden statue is pretty heavy.
If I remember
Kyo
correctly,
said it was about 175 pounds. That's what the weight of 2 girls.
What?
What do you know about girls? Have you even touched a woman besides your mother? Get at me later. What?
I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. Anyway,
Is this...
if this heavy thing was on top of the cage, then Tenko wouldn't have been able to get out easily.
okay.
Yeah, you're right about that. Yeah, somebody knew how the ritual was gonna go and used that to their advantage. That didn't sound like you were kidding earlier. Dog statue has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Wait, but there's no blood on it or anything? Okay, it just says help on this wall now, but I could have sworn it said more shit earlier. That's very strange. Okay. It's the white sheet we used for the seance. Also, can we establish that the white circle wasn't messed up until everybody, like, ran through it to go see Tenko? This was placed on top of the cage. Kia was the one who removed it.
Is this...
This cloth is pretty thick. It's similar to a window curtain, but it's completely opaque, and on the back. Look, there's a blood stain on it, right around the middle of the sheet. Okay. But no hole in the fabric. Okay, so if there's no hole in the fabric, that must mean the sword didn't poke up long enough to go through the sheet, but only through Tenko's neck, yes? From the bottom of the floorboard. So it didn't rip a hole in the sheet, but the blood sprayed onto the sheet from the wound that she suffered, right? Which means Tenko wasn't stabbed through this cloth. No, she wasn't stabbed from above, she was stabbed from below. We've already established that.
Okay.
She was stabbed while underneath the cloth. White sheet has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. It's the magic circle Kyo drew on the floor. Well, at least it was. It's being completely stomped over. Suppose it was unavoidable.
Well...
Was this drawn with salt?
Yes.
Whenever I perform a seance, I always use salt.
What?
Are you feeling alright? You sound ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Ridiculous? I've performed many successful seances. Why, I've even had spirits enter my body.
Right already.
Shut up, I don't want to hear about your stupid delusions. Maki really doesn't beat around the bush. It's kind of refreshing, actually. Yeah, I like it as well. I like it when women are super direct. It's kind of attractive in a way. In any case, with all the footprints, I can't make out the original circle.
So what?
We'll find out in Kyo's lab. It should be written in the Cage Dog Village document.
Hey.
Isn't that right, Kyo? How'd she know about the... He seems depressed. I suppose that makes sense. Magic Circle Korekyo Drew has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your monopad. Maybe Korekyo himself did this murder. Murdered Anji as well? Because I think the person who murdered Anji also murdered Tenko. That way we'd only get rid of one person. Because usually, like, about 5 characters survive Danganronpa, and that's if they survive. Alright, there's nothing up here that we can explore or examine. Okay, let's talk to everybody now. I think we've examined just about everything we can. I said things that made Tenko look suspicious, and now this. I'm sorry, Tenko.
Stop it.
Cry later.
What? Because...
Crying won't bring Tenko back, and if we don't investigate thoroughly, we'll die too.
Okay.
I need to find the truth and pin down the culprit for Tenko, and for all of us.
I guess.
You're right. Tenko would want us to figure it out so she'd have no regrets. That would be the best way to apologize. Or you could have just not have been a cunt to her in the first place, or done that stupid student council shit, and this wouldn't have happened, right? Like I said earlier. Let's talk to Maki.
Well...
Dude, these floorboards seem a little unstable to you. They're tough to walk on. Yeah, I said that earlier. Floorboards aren't nailed down, they're just laying on top of cross pieces. That's what Gonta told me. That's probably the reason they're a little unstable. They've only been laid on top, that's why they're unstable. Well, if the boards are fairly thick and sturdy, I can't imagine they'd come loose easily.
This...
But if someone wanted to remove a floorboard, they could easily do so, right?
Okay.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, so this particular floorboard was shifted earlier ahead of time and then put back into place on purpose to make it loose. Surprised, Mew didn't perk up then.
Himiko! Hey, Himiko! Be strong, Himiko!
Wait,
Gonta, if you shake Himiko that much, she's going to break.
What?
But she's not talking. It's like Himiko not even here.
like I thought.
She must have been really shocked over Tenko. Let's leave her be for now. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'd be sad if my friend died, or the girl that was lesbian for me died. It's not like Tenko was unattractive, per se.
Why?
First Anji, then Tenko?
How can this be?
Gonta's so ashamed. Why Gonta no can protect friends?
Because you're a big fucking idiot. And you're not very smart, unlike me, who pieces things together pretty fast.
Leave it to me.
Leave it to me. I will become the guiding light that shines on you all.
Okay. Let's talk to Korekio and then Mew.
Cannot be.
Why? Why did this?
I knew it,
Kyo, I knew the murder was pretty shocking.
but of course.
Of course, I'm shocked about that as well. But why did the seance fail? We performed all the steps flawlessly.
Seems more concerned by that than the murder.
Yes.
Oh, if we perform the caged child again and summon Tenko's spirit this time.
Cut the crap, just tell me what happened during the seance. Both you and Shuichi were present, right? Did she get killed during the
I
seance?
see, yes.
True, it may be best to move past what happened, to know why the seance failed.
Is that so?
Whatever, just hurry up. Yeah, she got killed during the middle of it, I think. So that's when we heard the creak, or the crack noise.
At the time, in order to begin the seance, we had Tenko, the spiritual medium, position herself as a turtle within the magic circle so her head touched the marker stone.
Or maybe... No, because I thought I still heard Himiko's voice. Maybe Himiko did this.
Then Shuichi and Kokichi placed the cage over Tenko. And after that, I placed a white cloth over the cage. Then all four of us placed the wooden statue of the dog god atop the cage.
I forgot why I was suspecting Himiko just then. I had a line of thinking and I totally forgot what it was.
Afterwards, we stood in the four corners of the room. Kokichi and Shuichi blew out the candles.
Himiko is quite small. Maybe she could fit through that gap in the floorboards, murder Tenko, and then climb back up through? Possibly. And then her voice could be heard from the lower floor, so it would still sound like it was in the song. And they'd be none the wiser? Maybe?
Yes.
I don't know if it said it might be big enough for a person to squeeze through, though. I feel like that would have given away too much.
Finally, we all sang the caged child song. Seance should have been completed, but...
Ah, now that you mention it, I remember hearing a strange sound during the song. Thunk. Yeah, it sounds like something broke. That was a very loud noise.
It is a mystery to me as well. I thought someone may have tripped, perhaps.
It's a pretty loud sound for someone tripping. Perhaps Kyo knows something.
What do you mean?
And then what happened?
Yes.
Ah, we called out to her, but no reply came. I had Shuichi and Kokichi relight the candles. And then we removed all the items from within the magic circle in the opposite order. First, all four of us removed the dog god statue. Next, I took off the white cloth, and then...
Let's see, Gonta could lift that statue by himself. He's quite strong, yeah?
Himiko ran over to the cage, and the moment she lifted it...
And it sounds like Tenko was definitely killed during the seance.
But would it not be difficult in such darkness? Besides, she was inside the cage, yes?
Then?
Then when was she killed?
Well, that's...
Yes, that is a problem. I think she was killed during the seance, honestly. And I think they marked the floorboard or the stone. Maybe the bottom of the stone was marked or something? And they used that to pinpoint where she'd be to stab the sword up through the floorboard into her neck or something like that. Why is the floorboard underneath her moved, and how did she not notice that? Yeah, that is a problem.
I see, yes.
There is another problem.
How?
And that is, why ever did the seance fail? I simply cannot figure it out.
Perhaps.
Maybe someone moved from their corner. Did someone else sneak in here?
What's the point?
Obviously, since the seance was clearly a sham. Maki never was one to pull her punches. No, she wasn't. That's what I like about her. She's very bold. Sound during seance has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. So yeah, I think that may support my theory of somebody moving during the seance, namely Himiko, who was near the corner that had the opening in it. Because I remember all three rooms were similar. Each of them had an opening in the corner, and I established that earlier. Maki, we finished investigating up here. Perhaps we should check under the floor. Seems pretty dark down there. What should we use for light? Bring Kibo with you. Let's bring a candle. With Kibo's light from up here, that should be fine.
Okay.
Then, I'll go get a candle. Remove that floorboard so we can go down. Oh wait, but Kibo had the function of his eyes before the seance took place, yes? Because Mew installed it. So what if Kibo... Hear me out on this. What if Kibo moved the floorboard, used his eyes, stabbed Tenko with the sword, and used his eyes for light because he wouldn't be able to see into the room. But the light didn't shine through because the cloth is opaque, which means it's not see-through, it's not transparent. And nobody else noticed the light. Maybe that's it. Then I'll go get a candle, remove that floorboard so we can go down. Okay, got it. Also, what room is this? I want to know what room this is. Does this go into Anji's room? I pulled off some of the floorboards near the hole and took the candle from Maki. Then we carefully made our way through the hole and under the floor. No, that can't be right, because Anji's room and this place are on the same floor. This is a lot more spacious than I thought. You can move pretty easily on all fours.
Okay.
Let's look around for clues.
Well,
It'd look pretty stupid if we found no clues after crawling around in this dusty place.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of blood, but there's also blood on this end of the floorboard. And the crosspiece was cut? Also, there's a candle underneath here. Or is that the candle they brought? Bloody sickle. Maybe she wasn't stabbed with a katana. Maybe I jumped to conclusions. Some of the wood has corroded and is broken off so you can see into the next room. This is the wall of the empty room, right? Looks like there's wood along the wall. Part is rotted away. Looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. Well, I can get into the next room through here.
that's true.
If I remember correctly, the room next door is also empty, right? Then the culprit could have gone from one room to room by moving under here instead of using the hallway. True, but it would have been difficult moving around under the floor. We did alright because we had a light. Without that, it'd be pitch black. That might make it impossible to move around in there.
Nope.
Then they could have used a light like we're doing right now. True. We used a light to move around under the floor. Is that possible? Yeah, it's entirely possible. Especially because the theory I was going on about Kibo and the opaque cloth, but I think this candle is put here so you can't just suspect Kibo and have it be too easy. See, they set these up really fucking well, honestly. So, it could have been somebody other than Kibo. I'm thinking Himiko, Correctio, and Kibo are my honest suspects right now. Why is this blood dry? There's a blood stain on the ground underneath the loose floorboard. That's pretty far from when Tenko's blood is dripping down. It's under the same floorboard, just at different ends. Why is there blood here?
Hey,
Hey, the back of this floorboard has blood on it too. You're right, there's a little bit of blood under the underside of this floorboard. Maybe the floorboard was used to hit Anji in the face, and that's why she has the cut on her forehead, but it's not very deep, but it's bleeding a lot?
what do you mean?
Did Tenko's blood splatter here when she got killed?
That's true.
Wonder, I can't really be sure yet. I don't think that's it. But these bloodstains here are completely dry. So yeah, maybe this floorboard was used in Anji's murder. And that's why the floorboard is loose here. So it was loose ahead of time. The floorboard was used to hit Anji in the head. But why was she stabbed in the back of the neck if that was the case? Or did they stab her in the back of the neck and then hit her in the head with the floorboard to finish it off? Just to make this more confusing. But if that's the case, that would mean the person who murdered Anji is the same person who murdered Tenko, yeah? There must be some reason these particular strains are dry. Dry blood under the floor has been added to the truth bullet section of your monoped. I think that's it. I think the floorboard was used to hit Anji in the head. And that's why there's dried blood and there's not that much on the end of it. This floorboard has been added to the truth bullet section of your monoped. Alright, let's check out the blood stain, then let's go check out the other end of this board, and then we'll go check out the sickle. Also, I want to see where that other hallway leads to. Blood dripping from the gaps in the floorboards, fresh blood. This is definitely Tenko's. Yes, it is. Why Tenko, though? See, I was thinking Himiko because Himiko may have known that Tenko was going to volunteer for her, and that would have been easy to set this up, I think. Or it would have been easier to set this up, this murder particularly. There's a sickle here, and there's blood all over it.
Okay.
The blood on the sickle is fresh. This is it. This is the murder weapon. This came from my research lab. Huh? It did. A sickle can be used to assassinate a target. It can be thrown without losing any lethality, and you can hide it under your clothes, too.
Well,
If she was attacked with this, she wouldn't stand a chance. The blade is about 6 inches.
That's right.
And since Tenko was in the cage, she wouldn't have been able to defend herself.
but
But even if this is a murder weapon, how did the culprit attack Tenko in the cage? The blade could fit through the gaps in the cage, but could it reach her neck?
That's true.
The cage is 3 feet high. If you were to stab it into it with a 6-inch blade, well, it would depend on Tenko's posture, but I don't think it's impossible. And her posture is the question. Hey, if the weapon is down here, the culprit must have thrown it away, right?
that's true.
Perhaps after killing Tenko, the culprit threw the sickle under the floor in the dark? Or they could have been under the floor the entire time. Either of those is possible. How would they have thrown the sickle at this angle? That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. They had to have used the sickle under the floorboard, right? Not thrown it under the floorboard. Sickle under the floorboard has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Ah, no, you know what? There's something I want to check. In fact, there's something I gotta check. I have an idea. I think I may have just figured this out already. I think it's Himiko. And I'll tell you why in a second. Actually, I'll tell you right now, because the sickle's the last thing we had to examine. Okay, so the reason I think it's Himiko is because depending on this sickle's positioning, depending on this space of the floorboard, because Tenko's body, okay, picture Tenko's body right here in the floorboard, right, was in the middle of the room. This corner would be Himiko's. So I'm guessing Himiko hit Anji with this board earlier, and that's why it has the dry blood stain on it. Put this board back. Right? Okay, hear me out. Put this board back. She knew how the seance was going to go, and she knew what the ritual was. She knew exactly what time to strike during the song, right? Because she knew how the song would go. Korekiyo said himself that everybody had memorized it. She knew what would be involved in the ritual. She knew about the sheet, so the blood and the light wouldn't shine through, right? She picked out a murder weapon. And the dog statue, everybody would have had to have moved it to get to where Tenko was. So that would have given her enough time to get... Okay, so she would have gone down during the song, still been singing. The loose floorboard, either this board, or if I'm correct about this space over here would have carried her voice through the floor. So she still would have been heard singing the song while she murdered Tenko. Right? And then she climbed back up. Or, right here, she went back through here, either there, or she went up through this area in the floorboard, because she is quite small, and then dropped the sickle back down here as the murder weapon, and that's why the sickle is positioned that way. So that's what I'm thinking right now. So I'm pretty much convinced at this point that Himiko's done it. I'm not sure, though, but that's what I'm thinking. And I don't know if any of that is arguable, because the time frame makes absolute sense. We still haven't figured out the other murder of Anji. We did come to the conclusion that it's quite possibly somebody from the student council who has the ability to move around at night. We haven't figured out that murder yet. And the evidence definitely can point to Himiko as well. Right, so I think we've discovered just about everything we can here. Part of the wood is rotted away. Looks like natural rot. This hole wasn't made intentionally. This is near the wall to the room next door. You could get there through this space. So you could go from one room to room under the floor, but it would be completely dark. Without some kind of light to guide you, it wouldn't be possible to move around. Could the culprit have brought a light with him under the floor? Quite possibly. I think there are still things to investigate. Oh, do we have to investigate this part of the floorboard? No, I guess not. Alright, we've examined that. Oh, cut crosspiece? I thought we examined that. Ah, look, part of the crosspiece that supports the floorboard is cut off.
That's true.
It's near the loose floorboard, and the portion missing is about the same length, too. And from what I can see of it,
That's true.
it wasn't broken off naturally, that was cut by someone. There should be saws in the warehouse, so they could have used that. Question is, why? Another crosspiece is supporting the floorboard, so it might not fall if this portion is missing.
Then...
So what purpose did this serve? The floorboard underneath Tenko's body is loose, and the crosspiece supporting it has been cut. If the culprit did all this, then why? That is a good question. I'm curious about that. That's the one thing I think that doesn't make sense to me right now. Or maybe the crosspiece was cut so they could move the floorboard and strike Anji with it. Maybe that's what the... So maybe... Yeah, maybe the murderer is Himiko. And she murdered both Anji and Tenko. I think that might be what it is. Crosspiece under the floor has been added to the truth bullet section of the monopad. I think that supports it. I think we finished investigating here.
Is that alright?
Lucky, you want to head back up? Glad you asked. I was starting to get fed up with all this gas. I think Himiko did it, honestly. If you want my honest opinion, I think Himiko did it. After Maki and I crawled out from under the floor, we put the floorboards back and returned to our investigation. I think Himiko did it. And she's not saying anything right now. So that's a little bit suspicious as well. We've only been investigating this room. Are you sure that's wise? What do you mean?
Because...
If Anji and Tenko have different killers, then the blackened we need to vote for is the culprit for the first murder, the culprit who killed Anji. I'm definitely certain that the person who killed Anji also killed Himiko, and I'll tell you why. Because in the other Danganronpa games, Chapter 3 is always a double murder. I don't know if that's a spoiler or not, and I'm sorry if it is, but I've said it before, so like, if I didn't warn you before I said it the first time, it's not going to help if I warn you if I say it now, will it? So... yeah, Chapter 3 is always a double murder, so that means somebody kills 2 people and then gets executed. So you cut 3 people in the mid-chapter of the game. That's what Monokuma said. So instead of investigating Tenko's death, shouldn't we be investigating Anji's?
Okay.
Yes, of course, but we found information in this investigation that also may help tie it to Anji's murder as well. Like with the floorboard striking her in the head, I think I'm correct about that. And that's where the wound on her forehead came from. And then her other wound is a stab to the back of the neck, but then she also has a wound, I thought, to the abdomen. But I'm gonna see if I can review the Monokuma file again and see if it says anything about injuries. Because Shuichi did say the pool of blood around Anji was from the wound on her neck, right? But for this, is bigger than the killing game for the sake of the 2 who died. So maybe Himiko used the katana to throw off the sickle as the murder weapon for this murder? Because we've already established that Anji was killed before Tenko, yeah? So, the katana couldn't have been used to kill Tenko, and then the sickle for Anji, and just switched around. That doesn't make any sense. But this is bigger than the killing game for the sake of the 2 who died. We need to reveal the truth of both their deaths. Well, I understand why you feel that way. But if you plan on investigating the other crime scene again, we should probably hurry. Yes, let's go investigate Anji's again, because I think I'm very sure about that floorboard hitting her in the head. What? What?!
It's a lie!
You almost got me, Danganronpa. Almost got me. Lucky I knew it was Kokichi, so it had to have been bullshit, because I was like, what? Like, no, come on, that doesn't... Did I surprise you? Were you gonna scream and cry in terror?
Huh?
What were you doing?
Oh, sorry. Just a little lightheaded from the blood loss. Yeah, this is real blood.
Why?
Okay, so what are you doing?
I got curious about something, so I decided to search the empty room next door. Then, suddenly, I stepped through the floorboard.
Step through a floorboard.
Jeez, that got me good, because this I tripped and fell pretty hard.
If you're going to lose consciousness, do it after you tell us everything.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I guess there was no crosspiece supporting this floorboard, so I kind of stepped through. What bad luck.
Okay, so we've established that somebody entered the caged dog room for the seance through the room on the left-hand side. That's why I was curious as to why there were 3 rooms. I was like, why 3 identical rooms? That's gotta be used for something. That's gotta mean something. Maybe we'll find out more about it later. And that's exactly what I was referring to. Crosspiece was gone? Does that mean...
Huh?
Huh?
Confidence! Dreams! That's what the killing game is all about!
Alright, so we've found out everything we need to solve these 2 murders, is what this tells us.
Killing game fans! Hold your head high and watch with your own 2
I think I'm
eyes.
right. I think it's Himiko. Honestly, I do. I think it's Himiko.
Baseball,
It totally fits.
soccer, mobile games, they're all
She was at the
nothing
right
compared
place,
to
the right
killing
time.
game.
She knew exactly how the thing was going to go. She knew exactly what was going to be involved. She used that to her advantage. I think it's her. Honestly, I do.
The killing game just can't be beat! Behold, students, the entrance to the trial grounds!
I guess time's up. Oh man, it's because of you guys. I didn't have enough time to check something.
What were you trying to check? Yeah, tell us.
I wanted to re-research the seance again, so I brought this document with me. But unfortunately, I couldn't find anything new that could be used as a clue. Kyo perfectly reenacted the seance as what was written in the document. He drew his magic circle the same exact way as in this picture. Not only that, he used the same exact tools too, nothing suspicious about this whole thing. Well, I wanted to check the finer details, but I'll tell you about it later.
Maybe Himiko also researched it and used it for a murder somehow?
At the class trial, so see you there.
I hope you're gonna be okay to go through the class trial. Kokichi left, the blood loss clearly affecting his footing a bit. Bloody Kokichi has been added to the truth bullet section of your monopad. Okay, so we're gonna use that, obviously, to support that the crosspiece was cut intentionally. Because he fell, right? And he fell in the left-hand room. Compared to the, or in relation to the, seance room. Let's go too.
That's true.
Yeah, okay. Is Maki nervous? I see, so even when she gets nervous sometimes... What are you staring at? Do you want to die? That's really becoming a habit. Okay, so I think I'm going to take a bathroom break before we go to the trial grounds real quick. And, nobody's going to see a, message if I put it here and somebody comes in while I'm gone. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause it. And then I'm going to throw up my starting screen really quick. And then maybe they'll know. So let me do that. They'll hear the game music playing and be like, oh, he's probably on a break or something. They'll get it. Alright, so I'll be back in a minute. And we'll go do the trial, I guess. Alright, let's go to the trial ground, shall we? Sorry about that. Righty then. Let's go! Poor Tenko, though. That sucks. Anji I didn't give a shit about, but I kinda miss Tenko, honestly. I mean, her whole feminism thing was annoying at first, but it kinda grew on me because it's a little bit hilarious in a way. I'm gonna miss her a lot, I think. Kinda sucks. I knew Anji was gonna die in that chapter, though, and I did say somebody was gonna die during the cage dog ritual, and I thought it was gonna be Tenko because she was under the cage. I thought it was the perfect setup for that. That's why I said somebody's dying here. It has to happen. Chapter 3 is always a double murder. This is the perfect chance for it. I called that shit a mile off. See, it's easy when you know how Danganronpa games work, but if you don't know how they work, it's probably a little bit harder. But once you have some experience with them, like I said when I first started playing this and I solved the first murder pretty quickly, I said, yeah, once you know how Danganronpa works, you kind of start to work outside the box and you start to think differently. Instead of thinking rationally, you try and think irrationally and think of possibilities of things that could occur. And it just makes it miles easier, honestly.
It would appear we have all gathered, but it seems there are less and less of us.
Oh.
Less friends mean it that much harder to solve mystery.
Don't worry.
Well, don't worry, I'm sure you've gotten a little smarter by now, Gonta.
Clearly not. Yeah, Gonta do his best to help.
I'd want you to graduate from super idiot level to at least Kaito idiot level.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean?
Are you okay?
More importantly, are you okay, Kaito? Yeah, I'm feeling better now. But wow, Maki Roll sure does pack a punch.
I know.
It's your fault. You don't need to worry about our dwindling numbers. Only dipshits have died so far.
That being said,
I know it's a tall order, but try to use your brains this time so I don't have to use mine.
booyah!
These golden brain cells of mine are a gift to the entire world.
Unacceptable.
It's as though every time you open your mouth you become less likable.
Rest in peace.
Atua, please. Please lend us your power.
But
May be difficult for us to rely on Atua. Considering what happened to Anji, whom Atua loved most of all.
well, you know.
One shouldn't have relied on Atua in the first place.
That's what I said.
But seriously, it's kinda funny seeing a robot believe in God, especially Atua.
I also.
So what? Robots can believe in God?
Indeed.
Actually, before I even met Anji, I had a similar experience. Hearing voices, I mean. You might call it an inner voice. It tells me what to do whenever I'm in trouble. How long are you going to say that for? Atua and ghosts don't matter right now.
Jeez.
Yeah, the trial this time is gonna be rough. We got caught in Monokuma's trap.
Huh?
His trap?
That's right.
He probably made the 4th floor so scary on purpose to prevent me from investigating.
Alright already.
No, he didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no way.
Hey, so
Shuichi, say something! Huh? What should I say? Yeah, you're just an idiot, dude. It's fine. It's okay. There's always idiot characters in Danganronpa. Can we not get any money out of those? Okay, I'm not gonna worry about it then. Well, let's go to the trial. God damn, that sucks, dude. I knew we were gonna lose 2 people, but I didn't know who we were gonna lose. Anji I don't give a shit about, so honestly I feel like we've only lost 1 person this chapter. But it sucks that Tenko's death was absolutely meaningless. But like I said, maybe to the person who killed her, maybe it wasn't meaningless. Maybe they just killed her on purpose to get rid of her or something. As usual, we walk toward the elevator in silence. I'm thinking it's Himiko, I honestly am. As soon as we remaining survivors stepped aboard. I think it's fucking Himiko. I've said it before, I'll say it again, I think it's her. That might be too simple though, so like, you always second guess yourself. You can never be absolute in thinking anything until like at least mid-trial when you start to piece the evidence together. And that'll help you a little bit. But yeah, honestly, I think it's fucking Himiko this chapter. And honestly, if I had to pick a victim, I think it's gonna be Kokichi next chapter. It makes the most sense. Gonta's a fucking lovable idiot, so there's no point in killing him off. Maybe Miu would kill Kokichi? Maybe? But I don't think Mew seems like the murderer type. I don't think Maki is either. If Maki would have killed somebody, being the ultimate assassin, she would have done it by now. And she did say way earlier, I don't plan to kill any of you, unless you try to kill me first, and nobody's tried to kill her yet. So I can't imagine her killing anybody. Kibo, I can't imagine killing anybody either. Maybe Kaito would murder somebody? But I don't think he has it in him. Korekio definitely seems off, but I don't know. And so we fell, faster and faster, downward into the black. Samugi doesn't seem like she'd murder somebody either, but maybe she's like behind this whole thing or something. The elevator stopped, and just like always, the doors parted slowly. The light that shines on us from the other side, the bright light of our future. Or is it? Although I kinda hate how the trial grounds don't look any different in this one. Like, they aren't personalized or changed in any way. That kinda sucks.
Boy, they look really depressed. Must be because there's even less participants now. Don't say they look depressed. You'll make Monodam sad. As much as I'd love to keep hearing this adorable back and forth. Let's hurry up and get this started. At last, the class trial will begin. I hope you enjoy it to your heart's content.
Yeah, I sure will, when I fuck up all the minigames. At least I have a better idea of what I'm doing in the minigames now, I think. The non-stop debates is probably going to be the roughest. The third class trial was about to begin. Angie Unaga, the ultimate artist. She created the Ultimate Academy Student Council to try to prevent the killing game. That's exactly why I thought she was going to die that chapter. Then Tenko Chabashira, the Ultimate Aikido Master. She hated men, but I knew that she hated this terrible killing game even more. The two who were killed were both trying to stop the killing. And who was the one who killed them? I think it's Magician Girl. I honestly do. Was it one person? It's not gonna be two people. It's not gonna be two different people. Two different people? We need to pin that down in this class trial. In order to live, we have to find the truth. Maybe it was Korekio. I think Korekio and fucking Himiko and Kibo are my three top suspects. I honestly do. Kibo because of the light of his eyes being able to see underneath the floor, but I don't feel like that's enough evidence to pin him as the murderer, but it's enough to pin him as a suspect. Maybe. And I will fight for it. I will fight with truth and lies in this class trial. Oh yeah, the part where I'm gonna have to lie is gonna be rough, because I don't understand that mechanic very well. So if I have to lie in this trial, I think I've had to lie at least once in every trial. It's gonna be a little bit rough, I gotta say. But I think I'm right in thinking that Himiko cut the floorboard and then hit Anji in the head